catalogs, there's a woman's name I want you to write down. Her name is Martha. You'll have pens later too, but some of you have pens, write it down, then you can share it with your friends later. Martha, M-A-R-T-H-A. M-A-R-T-H-A. Deanna, is there something I can type on here to get on the screen so I can show her website? Or, I guess I can show the website, can't I? Thank you. It helps if you know how to type. There you go. Okay, this is Martha. And Martha likes to draw. Okay? Okay, Martha likes to draw and she's not afraid to make mistakes. Okay? So what I want you to do is to feel free just to get a book and get paper and see how she paints all over the page. She buys a book with words in it. She goes, I don't care if there's words. I'm just going to do whatever comes to my mind. So she does these fancy pictures. Very beautiful woman, don't you think? No. But she does fun things like here. She's just playing with the shapes and playing with the background. And that's how you learn how to paint. And like right here, she took, I can't, mouse is moving. Like on the left-hand side, the Jell-O mold. She took that from a magazine. She just cut it out and just glued it in there along with her painting. So she plays around. She's not afraid to play around. So that's the kind of stuff I think that's really helpful for you, especially now because you're at a really young age when you can explore different kinds of art. So get a sketchbook and practice. Just try things. Don't be afraid. Okay? So are they going to come back next year? Maybe not. Different group? Different group? Okay. So if you ever come back to Art Center, if I'm still here, I want you to come and show me your sketchbook and say, look, I'm not afraid. Sound good? So, but I think there's some things that's really helpful when you look at stuff that Martha does, because she just sort of plays with things. See, she got a sandwich in there and a recipe and some words. Okay, and let me see. And what you'll find at our school is that people learn how to do lots of different things. You can learn how to make furniture. And see how this one here, the red chair, this backing folds up. Okay? So it's a type of a folding chair. Or this right here. This, there we go. In this particular poster, this was for the United Nations. You know what the United Nations is, right? And they're trying to, we're dealing with issues of security and how people feel comfortable and safe in their countries, but how different countries have partnerships. So, but they're looking at how they're looking at all the different issues, different world religions, different cultural issues, and they're trying to get a sense of how the world is coming together and how we can be partners. And so our students get a chance to work with people from around the world. So when you come to a place like Art Center, you have opportunities where sometimes you can take a class where you might study. Some of our students were just in Berlin this past semester in Germany for 9 weeks. And then 2 semesters ago, we had 12 students who went to Japan and studied in Japan. And our students were working on a project on looking at earthquake because Tokyo and Los Angeles both deal with earthquakes. And so what the students were looking at is how can someone design something to help with relief after an earthquake happens. Have you ever been in an earthquake? Do they have earthquakes in Korea? years ago in New Orleans, in the United States. We had some students who actually went to New Orleans right after it happened, and they talked about how can we design things to help people after emergencies and things like that. How can you make things that are easy to carry and get things in a more efficient way? How do you, like after earthquakes, how can we design different kinds of equipment that can remove rubble? Like when a building collapses and people get stuck inside, how can we design new types of maybe individual machines that maybe 2 or 3 people can carry and move in and get, open up spaces and help people to crawl out and help them come out. So there's lots of different ways that you as a designer can make a big impact. One of the people who went to our school about 15 years ago, I met him a few years back. He, do you know what ultrasound is? You know, ultrasound? Ultrasound's when they have like an x-ray, they sort of like look at your insides. Like when a woman is pregnant, they want to see if it's a boy or a girl. That's what they use, ultrasound. But it's usually a huge machine. And actually, he graduated about 20 years ago, because I met him about 12 years ago. And he created a small portable ultrasound machine that could be used in remote areas, like in Africa, where the towns or villages are really far apart and they may not have a good medical facilities. But you could be in a mobile unit in your truck, and you can have a miniature, small little ultrasound that you can take there. Okay? So, and what they did was they make it so it works good, it's small, and it's packed, and it looks nice. So, let me see if I can see stuff here. Those are things in product design. So. Like this right here. This here was an umbrella, and I don't think we only have more images of it. But if you look at it, see this here, it's flat, and this is flat. It's like a cross, okay? And if you look at the shape of the handle, that too is flat. It was designed so it collapses down, and it's designed as you know what sustainability is? Have you heard of sustainability? Sustainability is a word that talks about how we try to save the environment, and we try to recycle things. So this was using recycled plastics, and the idea was that you could have these in the town, and you could just borrow it, leave a restaurant, take it, and then go someplace else and leave it there. And then when it's done, it folds flat. It's like, so it's like an umbrella like this, it folds flat, pulls out, and it opens up. And then when you get done, you can recycle it after it breaks after a while. So it's sort of built in to be reused again. And then also the other thing too is they also made it with a little bit of it's good clear, so you can actually get more lights coming through. So a lot of times umbrellas when they're black, they're dark, and you're in there, you feel really but if it's a bit more light and clear, sort of can help you sort of feel happier. People never thought about that. And then let's see what else. You guys like to paint, right? Is this helpful to see some of these things? Yeah? That's good? Some of our students like to get into animation. And you can do that through our illustration major, where you learn how to draw different types of characters and animals. In fact, just yesterday, what animals were here yesterday, Ben?
Cow.
A cow. Just a cow?
That is a cow and I think a goat, maybe.
Okay.
We
have a class called, what else?
Pig.
A pig too? We have a class called Animal Magic during the summer. And right where the bus dropped you off, there's a little bit of grass right past there. It's a little animal farm. And about half of the semester, they bring in different animals, and the students draw them. So we had a goat, and a cow, and a pig yesterday. And then last week we had a camel, and a zebra. That's right, Ben actually been through a zebra. But part of the thing is learning how to draw interesting characters and how to tell interesting stories with these people, with your skills here. And you learn how to paint. At first you learn how to draw and paint with your